Hello, hello. On today's show, I'm going to talk about the latest Masters of the Universe installment. Mike says you're not going to believe this week's pick 3. And Pat says it's yet again time to celebrate another anniversary. Welcome to your favorite live streaming whatnotting podcast, Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space. I am your 4th or 5th favorite podcasting host, Kevin. And of course, I'm not alone. Up first is Patrick.
Hello, everybody.
And of course, you want to say, hey, Mike?
Yep. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
I've started to actually jog every day, and I run the way that I do in the introduction there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's actually what I've been working up to, too. That's such a coincidence. It's so awesome. You've been working up to that, too, Pat?
Yeah.
Hey, Pat, I meant to tell you, I got your hint about sending me an email for your new artwork, but I didn't accomplish it yet. I'm sorry.
That's frozen.
Oh, geez, he is. I want to take this moment to mention something to our Instagram viewers. Instagram.
I'm having issues, folks. So if you can hear me, bear with me.
Okay. You're on a delay, Pat, I think. Anyway, I want to take a moment to talk to Instagram Live viewers. Instagram Live is new to us. I think 2 weeks ago or whatever was our first time we actually accomplished going live. And then there was even more complications that I just want to give everybody on Instagram a heads up about, that apparently we can't do shows as long as we do them on Instagram. So if you're watching us on Instagram and then all of a sudden it just ends without the show being over, try to hightail it over to Facebook or YouTube to continue the show from there, because I think there's something like an hour or so limit on Instagram, and usually a 2-hour show for us is short. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
So I noted that the last time we went live. I just want to let everybody know on Instagram that that's what's going on. But we appreciate you all checking us out. Thank you so much for being here. Right?
Does it show that let's say it's an hour, we hit that hour mark, does it show that we're no longer live on Instagram where you can click again and maybe start a second show?
That's a good thought. We might try that today, Mike. Remind me in an hour.
Right, yeah, I'll do that. I'll remind you in an hour and 10 minutes. How's that?
Okay, fair. All right. So getting into today's show, it feels like it's been forever since we've had just a regular show. No special segments, no extras, no crazy bells and whistles, just our basic, excellent segments. Not to say that's a negative whatsoever. Just seems like it's been a while with just a regular show, right, Pat?
Yeah, it has been.
So we're going to start with me today, so nobody has to wait for that much. I got some complaints the last couple shows because I wasn't first. I'm just saying. I think I'm the favorite of a couple people.
Wait, who complained? You?
I'm not gonna call them out here. Anyway, are we ready to see what I partook in the past couple weeks?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. This is what I protect. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's really not a lot. And you'd think differently with 2 weeks, but I don't know when the last time something huge came out. Well, it's not like it's been forever, but I think there hasn't been anything huge new come out in the last couple weeks. I was thinking it was going to be Aquaman 2, but that didn't pan out. So I had to watch other things besides for Aquaman 2. I think Aquaman 2 is out on digital though now, Pat.
Yes, I just saw somebody this morning comment that they got it on Vudu and they were sorely disappointed.
But yeah, I'm not about to pay for it. It's not free streaming anywhere yet though. So
it won't be long, I'm sure.
Yeah. So okay, so what I did watch, and I figured this first one would be appropriate because we do kind of ride the coat heels of a classic soundtrack of none other than Mortal Kombat. So this is the latest Mortal Kombat Legends animation installment. This actually came out in October. I hadn't actually got around to watching it though. I've been watching them. Mortal Kombat Legends are actually pretty good. Are you guys familiar with them at all? There's actually, I think this is the 4th installment.
Never heard of it.
Mike?
Never heard of it.
All right.
And I'm not saying that copycat. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Well, put it on your list because these are pretty good if you're into fighting game animation. And what these do, let's talk specifically about this latest one. It's Cage Match, which I think is a really cool play on words because it follows. It's kind of a prequel to what we are aware of Johnny Cage's career in what we know of the Mortal Kombat games and such. Kind of explains how he got there, from the beginnings of his illustrious fighting career. It's pretty cool, right? Like I think how many times have we talked about, getting the old content to kind of, give us some lore is great. Right, Pat? Isn't that what you were waiting for? Some Johnny Cage lore?
Not exactly, but I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah. Okay. And
Who played Johnny Cage? Was that you or Johnny? Who was?
I was never Johnny Cage. I don't think there was a Johnny Cage fan in our Mortal Kombat group. Yeah.
Who are you?
In Mortal Kombat, I like Scorpion the best.
Scorpion.
I'm mostly a Tekken guy, though.
That's what I'm doing. I'm mixing up Mortal Kombat and Tekken.
Yeah, which is easy to do. But anyway, just a couple interesting tidbits about Cage Match. First of all, it's totally it's an 80s fest, which of course I can get down with, but be prepared for that. It's total 80s nostalgia type stuff. He totally is rocking the Don Johnson. What was the name of that show? Miami Vice.
Yep, that's what I thought of immediately when you showed that poster.
Right. Second thing is this is totally an adult animation. This is not safe for kids, in my opinion, to watch. And then lastly, the voice for Johnny Cage is none other than Joel McHale. You guys remember Joel McHale?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say remember like he's a nobody now. He does some stuff, but I loved him the most in Community. And but we remember him way back when from Talk Soup where he started out. Yeah. So he's hilarious. And this and basically this Johnny Cage interpretation is totally he's the same character as he was in Community, if you're familiar with Community. So it's entertaining. He's fun. He's arrogant, all the fun things that everybody loves to hate in 2024, So I'm going to give this Mortal Kombat Legends for an animation rating of 7 bags of popcorn. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's pretty decent, though. I enjoyed it. So go ahead and check that out. And then check out the other 3 installments, and there's technically 4 other installments. One's from like the mid-90s, and that was just called Mortal Kombat Legends. And then the 4 that have been out, including this one, in the past, they've actually put one out the past 4 years. They're all Mortal Kombat Legends / something else, like, you know, I can't remember them right now, all of them, but this is the 4th one, and they're coming out with a 5th one this year too. So they're apparently accomplishing what they want to do with them, because they keep putting them out. So they must be getting the viewers.
Is it vibrant like this? Is the animation
Yeah,
really?
this can be found.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is on Max, aka HBO Max. So thank you, Pat. Thank you. You just reminded me that Karen's not here to remind me of stuff, so I should probably also put this up so people viewing aren't confused what they're watching. Boom, there's a banner for you. Okay. Then I got around to watching The School for Good and Evil on Netflix. Are you guys familiar with this?
Never heard of it.
No. It looks like, was it? I would guess it was based. It says it looks on best-selling books. So is it like based on some YA books?
I think it's manga, actually.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's based on a best-selling manga. I believe it's manga, because I only saw some visuals of it and it looks very manga-esque. So I'd assume it's that.
Look it up.
So this show, I was a little bit torn whether I wanted to watch it. It definitely looked interesting. You might be able to tell from the poster I have on the screen right now. This is very female oriented. All the main characters are female, and that's pretty much what you get through the entire thing. There's a bunch of males in it, and you know there's some major characters that are males. But this show in general is more directed towards a female audience, if you ask me. But what do I know? And this is kind of a mix between, you know, kind of Harry Potter, because that's what kind of happens with this. You got people with power, and they're taken to a school. Except in this one, there's actually 2 schools. Shocking, the School of Good and Evil. But then this also, what's that Disney show that has all the kids of all the fairy tales? It's there's actually 3 movies of it. Man, my daughters are going to be so disappointed in me because they love these. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
Don't know the name of it.
Yeah. My wife and kids love it.
Yeah. Okay. And they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I especially like the first one. I think there's 3. The second one and third one are okay, but the first one I like the most. This kind of takes from that a bit. All the kids, or most of the kids, I don't know if all the kids, but all the ones we really care about are kids of prominent other characters, like
Descendants.
Descendants of other characters that we already know. So, like in the good school, there's like the son of King Arthur, and in the evil school, there's a daughter of Maleficent. You know, that all these kind of things. You know, so you know. This movie's not my jam though. But this shows how much I was really looking for something kind of geek culture-y to watch. I did watch the whole thing though, and overall, even if it was my jam, I wouldn't think this is good. It's kind of cheesy, and I think the acting is pretty subpar. A couple of them are pretty good, but that's Charlize Theron on there. There's your girl right there, Mike, in the redhead with the split down the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't been my girl for a long time. But
yeah.
Kind of went off the deep end.
But anyway, you know, it's not atrocious though. I can imagine if someone's into this kind of thing, they might think it was okay though. So I'm going to be fair about it, you know, since pretending like it's my kind of thing, what rating would I give it? And I'd probably go with like 6.5 bags of popcorn on this one. Kind of leaning into 6 a little bit, but it's not the most horrible thing ever. I wouldn't say I suffered through it at all. It was just something that I had to kind of get through. So anyway.
Oh, the Disney show. It's
Yeah. Descendants. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I threw it out there and you worked it right into what you were saying.
Yeah. Without knowing it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Descendants of the. Yeah.
And that's what the Disney show is. And the Disney show is better. If you haven't seen the Disney show Descendants, go watch that before you do this because you'll enjoy it more. And then did you ever watch that show Once Upon a Time as well? That had like 8 seasons or something too.
No,
You like that show, Pat, right?
You didn't.
No, I never got into that. That came around. That was like when the DC comic. Oh, geez, I'm blanking on that too. We're horrible with titles today.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm like trying to pull it now.
But I think that was the best. As far as for adults are concerned, I think Once Upon a Time was the best of this kind of subgenre of, descendants and storytelling using old fairy tales or whatever, So check out Once Upon a Time, all the seasons first, then watch Descendants on Disney, and then watch The School for Good and Evil if you're into that kind of thing. That's the watch order recommendation from me. So.
All right, and it's Fables is what Pat's talking about, right?
Fables, yeah, right.
The DC comic book.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank God for Google. And you liked Fables though, didn't you, Pat?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, and then lastly, but not leastly, because especially it's in our title.
Couldn't tell you. Never read it.
Masters of the Universe Revolution. This just dropped. This is my freshest beat of the week. Have you guys checked this out yet?
Nope.
Pat. Oh, I lost Pat.
I think Pat's having some technical difficulties there.
Okay, I'll ask you then, Mike. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you as a fan of Masters of the Universe?
Well, visually, it always looks awesome to me. I've never watched any Masters of the Universe or read anything. I watched
even back in the day.
No, I tell you guys all the time. My brother and I watched Inspector Gadget before school, and that's it. We didn't watch Transformers, Masters Universe, none of that stuff.
Imagine how much different of a person you would be if you consumed all these awesome cartoons from the 80s,
I know, yeah. So I have, yeah.
It's like I think the pop music of the 80s and the cartoons of the 80s kind of defined the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And video games, of course, Atari. Yeah. So. And
I didn't watch these or listen to pop music.
Did you have an Atari?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, there you go. Okay, so that's how you're an 80s kid still. Okay, got it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so Masters of the Universe Revolution. This just dropped on Netflix. This should not be confused with Masters of the Universe Revelation. This is Revolution, not Revelation. I always think whenever that kind of thing happens, I'm like, man, try to make this more confusing and difficult for people to check out. Right, Mike?
Yeah, there had to be somebody because this stuff isn't just done by one person. Somebody in the group could have said, this is kind of a little bit close.
Yeah. And just to bring back some memories for Revelation, I don't know whether you remember or not, Mike, that's the one that Kevin Smith caught a lot of heat on for not, giving the fans what they were hoping for with some new Masters of the Universe animation. And I'm not a Masters of the Universe on a scale of 1 to 10 for me and I did watch some back in the day. I'd say I'm maybe a 4, 3 or 4. I'm not really into it. I can definitely enjoy it. I know some things about it. The action figures were awesome. I had a few, but I'm not a big Master of the Universe purist or gatekeeper or anything like that. But I could definitely see where they were coming from with Revelation. It wasn't maybe as bad as the purists thought, in my opinion, but I definitely saw where they were coming from with their complaints, So I was curious about checking out Revolution to see if the powers that be in the decision-making process of these kind of things learned their lesson or not. Mike, do you think they learned their lesson?
I would hope so. I mean, this poster looks awesome. So, yeah, I'm going to say they learned their lesson. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Nice, Mike. Stingray Gaming's chiming in. What's up, Stingray? He's saying this animation looks sick. I will definitely 100% agree with that, Stingray. And let's start there. So, yeah, this looks sick. I love the art. And I think, Pat, are you good now? Can you hear clearly and you on time and all that good stuff?
Hopefully.
Okay. Is there a name for art that kind of impersonates classic art but is new?
I don't know.
I was just, looking for some help with some kind of artsy way to say it. You guys are good at that. I suck, so.
Oh, retro. I don't know.
Faux retro. I like it. Let's roll with it. Okay. This is very faux retro-y from what I could see, which made me enjoy it more because, of course, it's Masters of the Universe. And Mike, the answer to you didn't ask a question. I'm going to answer the question that I asked you. Yes, it seemed they learned their lesson, Mike.
Good.
There is still a few, and again, I'm not a big Master of the Universe purist, but from as far as I can remember and know, there are very minor changes. There are still some, but it seemed like they're getting back to, in my opinion, what I thought made Masters of the Universe what it did, what made it great, so lots of Stingray Gaming's asking if He-Man's in it. Yes, He-Man is in it. But I'm going to tag on to that question though, Stingray, and answer this question that you're not asking about Revelation. The previous one, Kevin Smith got heat on. He-Man was in episode 1, and then like the whole rest of the season was about Tila and some other girl. I can't remember her name, but it was no He-Man, hardly any action. This one right out the gate, what you see in episode 1 is what you get for a while. Lots of He-Man, classic He-Man action. And again, the animation's good. And, I guess Revolution is like a toy line too, to where it's got like I forget his name, the different Skeletor than the classic Skeletor. You can kind of see him there. And then you see the other guy in the top right-hand corner. I forget his name again. Not a He-Man or not a Master of the Universe guy, but I remember that toy. I think I might have actually had that toy for that one. But this is pretty good. I'm going to give this a good animation rating of 7.5 bags of popcorn on this one, Mike.
Nice.
So go check out all the classic 80s He-Man and then come back and watch this one.
Okay.
Pat,
I wanted to give. Go ahead, Pat.
What was the question, Kevin?
You're all over this, right? You're going to watch this now?
I don't know though. You're giving a lot of homework on all these different shows where we have to go back and catch up before we get the new stuff. So
that's true. That is
becoming more and more unlikely that I'll be able to get to it.
Speaking of homework, though, that's a perfect segue. I got some homework for you, though, for real. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Halo Season 2.
Hey, can we get real quick before we get off the He-Man thing?
Yeah.
Speaking of He-Man, I want to give Stingray some advice. Don't skip leg day.
Yeah.
He's working out. He's looking good, but You always got to remind these guys, don't skip leg day.
Yeah, you see his. I don't think we've seen one video of him doing any leg exercises. It always seems like the upper body. Yeah.
I
Take
guess
a cue
that's like
from
the
He-Man.
fun thing.
What'd you guys, Mike? What'd you say? You're talking over each other. What'd you say?
That's the fun part, is the upper body, working that out.
Yeah, definitely.
There it is.
Stingray's chiming in. He doesn't skip leg day. What were you going to say, Pat, there before he start talking?
I said, take a cue from He-Man there. Look at his legs. He doesn't skip leg day.
Yeah, he's definitely got the leg strength going on too. Absolutely. All right, back to the homework now. And this is legit homework. Okay. Halo season 2 drops on February 8th. I think I did an episode by episode review of the first Halo way back when, the first season 1 of Halo when it premiered. And they were, I think all of them, but maybe one were awesome. Not only good, but awesome. Remember that, fellas? Both of you?
I do remember you talking about it.
Did you ever get around to checking out season 1 yet?
No.
You guys should. You guys loved Halo, the video game, right?
Never played it.
Patrick, daggum.
Oh, you got more homework. Haha. Play the game and watch season 1.
Oh yeah, Pat, I'll give you a pass though, because you were a Nintendo guy, right? That's what it was with
Nintendo
you, right?
and Sony never had an Xbox, so.
All right. Well, Mike, you have no excuse because I know you loved Halo. We played it many, many times together. So get to Halo season 1. It's excellent. Okay.
I'll give it a shot. You knew me in high school. I was terrible at homework.
Right. But anyway, I'm super excited about season 2 because of how much I liked season 1. If I recall, Tyler was doing a little bit of gatekeeping, had some complaints mostly about appropriate armor being used at times, which is really getting into the weeds of complaints, which is fine, but that's where he is, which love it about him, but I think overall he still enjoyed season 1 as well. So even for a purist such as him, he still thought it was good. So I'm excited about this. And also I'm mentioning this too, because with a lack of quality new drops for this, what Kevin watched, I wanted to let everybody know that I will have Halo season 2 watched. At least I don't know how they're going to drop it. I think it'll just be week by week. So episode 1, because we have to skip next week. My daughter's first drumline tournament is happening, so we won't be doing a show next week either. So our next show will be February 10th. So I'll have this watched before that show. So there's a little reason to make sure you come back to see what Kevin thinks of Halo season 2. All right.
Yep.
And Mike's going to do his best, maybe even Pat too, maybe, to watch that, right?
Sorry, I'm laughing at Stingray. I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah, I know. Stingray's asking, there's a Halo TV show? Yes, Stingray. It's on Paramount Plus, season 1 right now. You can watch the whole thing. Go check it out. Oh, yeah, I'm glad he asked that, so I can mention where to watch that. But Paramount Plus, check it out. It's really good, Stingray. And you got to catch up before season 2 comes out. So. Oh, Mike, I meant to ask you. Is that old, Pat?
It is old.
Pat just put up a comment from Karen. She's here and chimed in. Sorry we didn't catch that, Karen. Pat's trying to catch us up now, and I appreciate that because I'm not even looking in the comments. But Karen's letting us know there were 7 seasons of Once Upon a Time, and it was great. So I think she's confirming what I said. What's up, your grandpa? She's confirming what I said, that the first thing you need to watch is Once Upon a Time, then check out Descendants on Disney, and then get to The School for Good and Evil if you're into that kind of thing. So,
and then watch Halo.
No, because I'm assuming most people that are into Once Upon a Time type stuff may not be into Halo. So you get to pick your poison.
Yeah.
You can either watch Halo Season 1, preparing for Halo Season 2, or get into watching all those Once Upon a Time type shows. So choose. And I'm not saying how I'm going to feel, Pat, if you come back saying you rewatched Once Upon a Time, but not Halo Season 1. I'm not going to say how I'm going to feel about that. Just do one of them or the other, okay?
Well, okay. We'll see how that turns out, Kevin.
All right. Mike, so I wanted to end this actually asking you about, did you finish Monarch? Because I know you were texting me about Monarch. Did you finish it?
No, I think I've got the last episode to do. And I was trying to, but, you know, I don't know. I started getting tired when I was watching. I was dozing off. I don't get enough
Well, we've only
sleep.
got one episode left. Let's call that a win. There's your put this on your homework list, Mike. I just want to hear what your opinion is, and so do the masses watching and listening to our show. Want to hear what your opinion of Monarch, the season finale, is on the next show. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have it done by then.
All right, cool. All right, that'll do it for me then.
Wow, you did such a good job. 2 standing ovations.
Crowd loved it.
Well, they're glad you were first.
All right, Mike, are you ready for the spotlight? Because everybody can't wait to see how what was my tease that we're not going to believe the pick 3 this week.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Yep.
You ready for this?
Yep.
All right, me too. All right.
All right. So, pick 3. Here are 10 covers, and these are all chosen from a list of 463 covers. And these all come out next Wednesday, January 31st. You know, since we were off last week, I figured I'd kind of get ahead of the game. So, you know, last week I said I'm gonna get my 10 covers now. Looking ahead, I got 3. I got the 3 covers, and I just bailed. I said, I was frustrated. And I said, okay, I've got a whole week and a half to do this. I'm just going to get back to it. So, you know, crunch time's coming up. I finally get to it, and I still struggled. I was pleased with once I got them all together, and I looked at them like, okay, these are pretty good covers. But you know, New York Mike is kind of a barometer there on he's the first gauge on how well it is. Whether he sends me 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
This week he had 2. So I was like, okay, off to a bad start.
Dagger.
And I think Kevin chimed in that, yeah, he struggled on picking more than 2. I'm grateful that you actually picked 3. That helps. So,
Well, I never would just pick 2, and I think Pat's probably the same thought that I am, that you're just asking us to pick the best 3 out of these, even if we think the third one isn't good. It's still good. It's the least not good.
Yeah. But I have to say, I don't mind New York Mike only doing 2 or 1. I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
I get a chuckle out of it. It's pretty neat. So I don't want him to change what he's doing.
Right. I agree.
He's not willing to sign off on that third one. Like, can't do it.
Fair enough. And I just want to correct you just on one statement. You mentioned to us that Mike from New York only picked a couple. Then Pat said he had a tough time, and then I third. And I just want to say I came in third. That's all. Just because, I don't want to be harsh on you, Mike. I know you scoured 400 and some covers. Me and Pat have talked at length as to how difficult we appreciate how this job is. So I don't want to be rough on you. It's not that bad. It's just, I just was being honest since everyone else mentioned it, that this was an unusual one for me. I think I'm the most agreeable one on a weekly basis from, what we've talked about in the past, that I can get down with most covers on most weeks, but this is the first time at least since I can remember that it was tough for me. So
let's see what the viewers think.
Yeah.
Stingray's chiming in. He said these covers are not it. Sorry, Mike.
Well, the only thing I have to say is it looks like you skipped leg day. I'm just kidding. He knows I'm kidding.
Yeah. And Mike, this is kind of funny how we're all getting on you like you drew these or something.
Right. Yeah. Terrible artist.
It's your fault that this isn't a good comic cover week.
It's so basically, I did come to a conclusion. There were, the rule is I only use covers that are open order.
Right.
In doing so, I leave off some amazing covers that are 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s, store exclusives, artist exclusives, where you can only get them from their website. So that's why I started thinking, you know what? There are covers that are coming out. They should at least highlight them if they're good. So moving forward, if I'm struggling to find open order covers that I legitimately like a lot, I'll put some ratios on there, and I'll note that they're ratios. So
well, that's a good idea. Yeah, we still pick the 3 out of the 10 open order, but you note a couple spectacular or whatever more ratios. Got it. That's a good idea. I like it.
Or actually, I was just going to use them for the 10.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So we're still only looking at 10.
Okay, that's fine.
But because I'm like, it's the rule that I made up. I can adjust it.
That's true. That's true.
So
all right. So what do we got this week anyway?
All right. And one last thing, I know everybody's chomping at the bit to see. Okay. Every single one of these covers received votes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And more than one. No cover got just one vote. They all got multiple votes, which that was awesome.
Shut up. Are you serious?
I swear. Yep.
Hey, well, if you use Mike from New York as a barometer, your first barometer, that's fair. But I think your second barometer should be what you just said. If you get votes on every cover, especially multiple votes on every cover, forget what me and Pat said. Me and Pat and Mike, for that matter, don't know what we're talking about if you're getting multiple votes on every cover, right, Pat?
Yeah, sounds fair to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of that way I gauge it. I'm like, okay, they all got votes, so they're all desirable to somebody.
Awesome. Okay, fair. Oh, Stingray doesn't know what he's talking about either. These are it, Stingray. Anyway, okay.
All right, here we go. In third place.
No, you haven't even read the covers or anything. We totally went off the rails.
Oh, that's right. Holy cow. Let me get to this.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the covers. Anyway. All right. Hulk 8 from Nick Klein. Spine-tingling Spider-Man number 4. Juan Ferreira. Of Har. Anyway. Edenwood 4. Tony S. Daniel. Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099 number 5. Clayton Crane. Conan the Barbarian 7. Jessica Fong. G.I. Joe 302, the second printing. Danny Earls. Avengers Twilight number 2. Danielle Acuna. Batman Offworld number 3. Doug Mankey. Philadelphia 33. Jason Sean Alexander. And Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 3. Giuseppe Camuncoli. Yeah, Camuncoli.
That was nice work on those names there. I think you did a good job.
Yeah, I practice sometimes, and then I still butcher it, but it's not as bad as if I didn't.
Yeah, please. I hope everyone forgives us. We try to remember to apologize our name butchering if we're aware. But if we're not aware and we don't apologize, just know it's implied.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, there are just so many artists from all over the world now that some of the names are tricky. And I'm thinking, man, why can't they all, Alan Davis? How just simple. And I'm like, back in the day, we didn't have difficult names, but then we actually did. I think one of the most difficult was Bill Sienkiewicz.
Right.
Being a kid, like trying to read a what? Right. So
But
anyway,
it's an amazing new broadened world, and we're better off for it, though, right, Mike?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what really helps is how artists can work remotely. And then everybody doesn't have to be at the office in New York or California or wherever it is. So,
Right.
So, all right, let's get to now we can get to third place.
Yeah.
That's where we'll start. All right. In third place, we have Conan the Barbarian, number 7 from Jessica Fong.
Very nice. This is one I voted for, and this is one that was one of my first couple picks. How about you on this, Pat?
I didn't care for this one. My wife liked it though.
Yeah.
All right.
I voted for this one as well, and so did New York Mike. So he's got his finger on the pulse, I guess, at least for third place.
Right.
The thing that after looking at, I voted and then talking to my family on their voting, I think the thing that may have set it apart more is if the background was had different colors than just all the same, from the foreground to the background.
Yeah.
That may have set it apart just a little bit, but
Gotcha.
overall I thought it was nice. All right. And then in second place, when you want to talk about a lot going on in the background, we've got Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, number 5 from Clayton Crane.
I am 2 for 2. How about you, Pat?
I am 0 for 2.
Okay. You didn't like this one? You know what? Actually, I don't know whether you guys do this or not. I'm sure you probably do. But I'm always trying to imagine what you guys are voting for as well. And not intentionally even, it just kind of naturally happens. And when I saw this one, I was like, I'll bet you Pat's going to vote for this one. I thought Man-Thing would have you on that one.
Yeah, but Clayton Crane doesn't have it for me. So
right. Stingray's chiming in. I'm assuming this was before the reveal, obviously, that Spider-Man 2099 better be in the top 3. And there you go, Stingray, and you nailed it.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah. All right, let me give you a drum roll for number 1. Tell me when to start.
Start. And in first place, spine-tingling Spider-Man number 4, Ron Ferreira. And good news, Patrick, you voted for this one.
Begrudgingly, but yes, I did vote for it.
Wasn't happy about it, but I liked the number 1 cover of the week.
Put the 10 up. Sorry.
I gave it credit for being different, going a little bit outside the box. So
yeah, this almost I only went 2 out of 3 because I didn't vote for this one, but it was one that I almost did vote because it is pretty cool. I wouldn't say like it really, but it is cool. I can appreciate how cool and original it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it made the list. It was just something, we hadn't seen before. This is one of those ones that I can imagine if they do a second printing of this, they may, they'll probably do the same thing with different colors or whatever, just because it's so different.
Yeah.
But Stingray was surprised.
Yeah, Stingray didn't like this one. Can you put up the 10 again real quick, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, all I can do is count the votes. They are what they are.
Yeah. Oh, I went with Savage Dragon for my Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, for my third one. What was your other 2, Pat?
Hulk, which I'm really surprised. I thought everybody loved Ghost Riders around here.
Yeah. You and I are the only two that voted for that Hulk.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
That was the only cover I really liked this week.
Really? Okay. Wow. Okay.
I also voted for Secret Wars.
Yep.
What was the third one?
Karen voted for Secret Wars.
Spine tingling.
Oh, that's right. You said that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Philadelphia was my third begrudgingly voted one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Avengers Twilight didn't get more votes than it did. I mean, it was there. It was just out of the top 3.
I like Daniel Acuna, but it's just another Iron Man cover, man.
I like the colors to it.
Yeah, he's got a really cool coloring style, but it just didn't stick out to me. It just blends in with all the many just Iron Man covers that are out.
Yeah, agreed. So, all right.
It.
Okay.
Those are your 10 covers for the week. Go buy them all. I will say, oh, nice. Oh, no. I just saw the last part.
Yeah, you got an offer from Stingray. He'll do legs right now if you change the #1 spot. The question is, Stingray, what do you want the #1 to be? What is your opinion of what #1 should have been? See how quick he answers that. I think he's watching on Instagram, and I think Instagram has like a 10-second delay anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see the answer to that soon.
Yeah, the G.I. Joe cover, Hulk.
Okay.
Hulk for sure. The G.I. Joe cover, I really liked the kind of the atmosphere of that one, like the background outside the windows of the city and stuff. I like that, but it was getting no votes at all. And then Marcus started looking at these, and he kept going back to that one. He's like, man, I just really love this cover. So
awesome.
That was great. But he wasn't the only one voting. Someone else ended up voting for it as well. But yeah, when he was telling me that, I was like, okay, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin. The
G.I.
Joe cover had my interest right off the bat, but I'm no repelling expert, but something looks wrong with Snake Eye. I don't think his butt should be so low. It's like his legs are up too high or something. That threw me entirely off that cover, and I don't know why.
That's fair. Yeah, it is kind of low. Obviously, I'm no expert either, but I have been there, done that a few times, and I would say if you get that low, you're failing. You're not really accomplishing what you're trying to do. Maybe he slipped right before that happened. One of those covers, we need the moment. We need to see the panel just before it to really discern what's going on.
I always have an old story. When I was in boot camp and we were out doing the obstacle course and the rappelling, I never got to rappel because everybody we stage our gear, our rifles and all of our gear, and then go and they always leave someone to guard the gear, and then they'd switch out, but they never switched me out.
Oh man, that sucks.
And I wasn't about to go remind these guys that yell at you all day. Hey,
right.
When's it my turn?
Yeah.
So I didn't get to.
Oh, that does suck. Actually, the first time I ever rappelled was actually in high school because I was in ROTC. We actually rappelled in ROTC in high school too. It was pretty fun. So
I bet it was. Didn't get to do it.
Yeah. All right, but I'm still gonna say good job, Mike, because it was a good job. Because like we said, we know how hard you work, so it's still good. So,
and I have fun doing it. I complain a little bit, but it's still fun.
And I like to say this all the time whenever I insult my wife that if you never get negative feedback from someone, you can't honestly trust when you get the positive feedback.
I'm sorry. That's what I thought before you insult her.
No, I usually do it after.
Wow.
I say I insult, and I'm not trying to insult her. I should have said it like this. Whenever I say something that she takes as an insult, I'm like, as soon as she takes it as an insult, I react by saying, but baby, you wouldn't know that when I say all the positive things, which I do far more often, that those are legit if I never said something that she could possibly be insulted by. And here you go with this, Mike. Now, every time I give you high praise for how great your covers are, I'm sincere because I can give you the occasional, these aren't so good, Mike.
Right.
Isn't that how it works, Pat?
Yeah, it does now, for sure. I have to glom on to that philosophy.
All right. Are we ready to get into a group effort of opinions?
Yep.
All right, me too. Oh, look, Mike's first.
All right.
Hold on, we got a comment by Stingray to start off the Get It or Forget It segment. Stingray, I guess he's concurring from what I can read in the first couple words. If they don't insult your legs, you won't believe them when they praise your upper body.
Right.
This apparently is our workout episode. I'm going to change the title afterward.
All right.
All right, Mike, let's see. I heard this book you're getting ready to review is a book you weren't even planning on buying. That's what I heard.
Yep. Wasn't planning on buying it. Went to LCS. It was in my box just because I get Venom. They stuck this in there, I guess, just because. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Having no idea what it was. This is Kid Venom Origins #1.
I've never even heard of Kid Venom. I wish Tyler were here so I could ask him if he's heard of it.
Yeah, I think a while ago, this cover was probably in the pick 3. I think I put Death of the Venomverse, the Kid Venom variant.
Oh, is that the first appearance of Kid Venom?
Wait, which issue was this? 2?
Number
Yeah,
2?
I think so. Yeah.
Huh.
In this issue. To get to the details, and I'll get to my review. Basically, Death of the Venomverse had short stories throughout it. The Kid Venom story ran from issue 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there were 4 5-page stories in there. It just ran, connected through. So what Kid Venom Origins #1 does is it collects those for you. So if you missed the Death of the Venomverse, just buy this and you get the whole story, which is really great.
Oh yeah, I love that kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I had no idea what this was when I bought it. I said, okay, I'll just buy it. And then in reading it, that's what I found out. It's like, that's pretty cool. So basically the main character there, Kid Venom, his name is Kentaro. And what I really like about this, because this is an early tale of a boy who will someday become a legendary samurai. So, and this takes place in 977. So we're looking at, okay, there's so much room for this character to grow and so much story to tell because they're starting so far back, which is really cool. So that has my interest already.
Yeah.
So I kind of like when they do that. They say, okay, look here, this is, he's a legend. And then you're like, wow, that's great. And then you find out how they became a legend. So that's
absolutely.
I'm not sure.
More lore. Gimme. Absolutely.
So let me get to, okay. So it starts off, this whole story takes place in like almost one moment. And a small village is about to be attacked by an Oni, which from what I understand, it's a type of symbiote that In this one, it's taken over a bear, Kintaro arrives just in time, and he's a samurai from the capital. So he's a young samurai, obviously Kid Venom. And his symbiote is called Clinter. And it's a different type of symbiote. And this one, the other ones all feed on adrenaline, but Clinter feeds on other symbiotes. And in doing so, he absorbs their memories as well as the host's memories.
Interesting.
And as he does that, he continually evolves. So you can see here, the Kintaro was able to turn into a falcon, which is kind of neat. So this is where he kind of, mealtime, he kind of talks to his symbiote, and it, comes out. And so he can kind of say whatever he wants and form into that, which was really cool, because at some point they had devoured a falcon that was, had a symbiote on it.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And then what he can also do, so he battles this bear and, destroys the symbiote there. And in doing so, he absorbs, or he can actually, once he does that, he has the power to look at the memories of, of that host and that symbiote. So this is just a panel of him seeing the memories of the bear that he just defeated.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So and then this, what's so awesome, and I'm really looking forward to this now, is Kid Venom #1 comes out April 17th. I think it's probably going to be a mini series. I'm going to pick that up because this was really great. And I didn't give any credit. The writer and artist is Tegami. I'm hoping I say his name correctly. But this is just fantastic, and it's what's really cool.
Hold on, I thought this was Kid Venom #1.
This is Kid Venom This is Kid Venom Origins #1. This collects those
from
5-page
Death of Venomverse. Got it. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So regular Kid Venom #1 comes out in April. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And that's set in the same timeline as this. It's set back in 977. So it's not like we're jumping anywhere yet. So I think it's just going to kind of keep up in that same period. And it really has that Marvel's done it in the past with the manga stuff, but this really, I think this captured it really well, and I love it. The pages, just great, huge, action shots, the big, dialogue balloons, all that. It's really cool. The artwork's great too. I love it. So this is a get it. And if you're a fan of manga that's kind of trying to make that leap to the Western books, this is a must have. I think it's really done well.
Very nice. Okay.
So I'm glad that I ended up buying it instead of putting it back.
Right. You've convinced me. I definitely, I don't know whether I'm going to grab Kid Venom, but I definitely need to fill in the rest of my Death of Venomverse then, because I only got issue #1 because they were cool looking. And I didn't read them. But what issue did you say, Kid Venom?
Yeah. 2.
#2, of course. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And these were cool because Bjorn Barons did the covers, the A covers for all 5.
Yeah, those look really, they all look cool. And when you put them together like that, like you do on occasion, like that, it makes them even look better. Awesome job, Mike. Yeah.
So I'll have to talk to Ty. I'm sure he bought these because he loves Venom.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear what he thought if he read the Kid Venom stuff. So there you go. Get it.
All right. Pat, what you got?
I'm going to play catch up on 2 series. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm not going to go too in depth on these reviews, just kind of an overview. We had Hulk in our pick 3. I haven't read that one yet. That's the newest issue. We're going to catch up on 3 through 7. Okay, wow. So this is the writer is Philip Kennedy Johnson. The main artist is Nick Klein. He did issues 3, 6, and 7. And then we had a fill-in artist for issues 4 and 5, who was Travel Foreman. So this is the title of this overarching story is called The Age of Monsters, and basically this character, who I don't think we've actually seen in real form, she kind of speaks through others. Her name is the Mother of Horrors, and she has turned all the monsters in the Marvel Universe against Hulk. We don't know why. We sort of get hints later on that she actually wants Hulk's body, like she wants the form of the Hulk. I think, just going by reading comics for years, I kind of surmise that she's afraid of the Hulk. She maybe the Hulk's the only monster that can possibly defeat her, so she wants control of it. And to do so, she's even offered later on in this arc to separate Bruce from the Hulk and let Hulk live a happy life, Hulk free, and she would take over the Hulk. We'll see how that turns out. I'm guessing the heroicness inside of Bruce Banner and the Hulk will kind of say no to that and end up defeating the Mother of Horrors, but we shall see. But basically, it may not be too hard, though, because this version of the Hulk that we've seen so far, he wants to be rid of Bruce Banner. So maybe he will. He is on the fence a little bit. Maybe he will want to make that deal. But this, we had two series ago. We had The Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett, which I have all but read the last volume of that. I pretty much enjoyed it. And then we had the Donny Cates in between that sort of was derided. I don't think anybody really liked it. Of course, it was impacted by Donny Cates leaving the book and kind of Marvel scrambling to tie up loose ends. But this sort of, I don't think Donny Cates had any of that horror vibe to it. I think it was more of like a sci-fi thing. But this sort of dipping back into the horror, but more in like a gothic horror versus like a body gross out horror book. But there are still some elements of that. When they show the Hulk transforming to and from Bruce Banner, there's some of that Al Ewing Immortal Hulk going on there. But it's more of like a southern gothic horror vibe to the whole thing, with all these different monsters coming after the Hulk. And eventually the Hulk, and let me say too, the Hulk is sort of in that drifter mode, like sort of like we comment about the old TV show. This sort of reminds me of that, where Bruce is a drifter and he's grown his hair out to disguise himself. That's why we see the Hulk with long hair. But he kind of has a sidekick in this teenager named Charlie. She was an abused teenager. Her father physically abused her, and she's kind of glommed onto the Hulk. She wants to hang around with Hulk because he's powerful. She kind of gets that vibe, like, I need to be more powerful like the Hulk. And they've kind of like sort of went along this journey together. But they end up in Texas, and that's kind of where this issue is. Unfortunately, I swear I had them all in here, but issue 4 dropped out. But now we sort of in Texas here, and there's, like I said, they're sending these the Mother of Horrors is sending these creatures after the Hulk, and she sends them to where where Charlie and Bruce have sort of settled in this little encampment in Texas. And in this encampment, there's a small child who, I don't know if he really has ties to this, but there's this bike, this World War II era Harley Davidson you kind of see there on the cover, that kind of just rotting away in their encampment. But the twist of Ghost Rider here is, as far as I'm familiar with Ghost Rider, is that whenever this little boy is in trouble, the Ghost Rider manifests himself. Like he's like a zombie Ghost Rider almost. He isn't a character in day-to-day life, but when this child finds himself in trouble, he sort of like flames up and he comes to life. And he another weird thing about him is he uses like World War II soldier era weapons. Like he uses a gun and he uses grenades, which is another kind of a twist. I don't think Ghost Rider usually he has his chain and his penance stare. So this is kind of a different take, but he visually he's very cool looking, in my opinion.
Well, that knowing that now makes me appreciate how cool he looks on this cover more than I did before. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, I can't wait to read it. I'm so glad Pat's doing this review because
yeah.
So the only bad thing I can say I'm not totally sold on this story. When I try to get you guys to read it, the visuals are cool. Yeah, the visuals are cool. I wish the writer Philip Kennedy Johnson would sort of speed things up a bit. I think he needs to get to a point, to his point, and let us really in on what the mother of horror is trying to do here. There was 2 issues here, and because of the issues dropping out, you can't really tell. The 2 fill-in issues were done by Travel Foreman, and I think those 2 issues suffered a little bit. I know of his artwork in the past, but these 2 issues didn't do it for me. The art was very uneven, if I want to put a button on it. Just I don't know what it was. I'd much rather have Nick Klein. Although I will say Nick Klein, I don't know if he's not a good match for the Hulk. Sometimes I think I love his Hulk, but I'm not loving a lot of the secondary characters and a lot of the monsters that go up against the Hulk. Visually, I just don't think they're that appealing. But the way he draws, I really like his Hulk. I really like his Ghost Rider. But I'm not so sure about this series. And ultimately, I'm going to give it sort of like an undecided for the time being. There's issue 7. And Mike, I think, had issue 8. Issue 8 was in the pick 3 with another Ghost Rider cover. So he's going to be coming back to help. So I'm sort of in that no man's land right now. I'm going to continue with it, but I'm not loving it. But we'll have to see how it pans out. The other book I wanted to talk about, briefly here too. This was a pleasant surprise. I kind of been spoiled on this book. Some revelations came out online. I wasn't looking for them, but you know how that goes. But it actually kind of want to make me get to it and read the book sooner. And that is the Uncanny Avengers. This is, I think, volume 2. They had a previous volume about probably 10 years ago. Where Cap, he thinks mutants get a bad rap, so he creates the Unity Squad, comprised of both mutants and Avengers, and that's sort of what he's doing here too. This takes place all in the fall of Krakoa, which I have really dropped the ball, and I'm way behind in my X-Men reading. I only get the main book basically, but I'm way behind. But I've kind of been following things, hearing tidbits here and there. Rewind. I loved Jonathan Hickman's X-Men at the start. I think he had some really great ideas. We've kind of maybe gone over this too before, where Marvel wanted to stretch it out and they kind of dropped the ball in the stretching out of this whole big storyline. But now that they're trying to wrap things up, how many elements of Jonathan Hickman are still there, I have no idea. But they're going to do another reset. The X-Men are falling under a new editor at Marvel, and they're probably going to just reboot everything X-Men wise and have a new status quo. But this wraps up the Krakoa era in this Uncanny Avengers book ties into it, because Krakoa has fallen. Orcus, who's sort of the bad guy group, sort of made up of old AIM agents and Hydra agents. They two of the big baddies in the Orcus are MODOK and Dr. Stasis, who's sort of like a Mr. Sinister clone. They're out to give they've already sabotaged Krakoa and their miracle drugs, and they've set out to disparage the mutants even further by, I don't know if you guys remember, if you've seen Captain Krakoa. What happened there was, I think maybe we get to see him on issue 2. Oh, there he is. No. We can see the back of him there. But he's sort of that green and black mutant. Basically what happened there was, the mutants had the protocol where they could bring characters back to life. But they didn't want anybody else to know about that. And Cyclops had died, so they gave him the moniker of Captain Krakoa, so Cyclops could continue on. That was sort of like a mystery at the beginning of the current X-Men series.
Oh, I think I remember you mentioning that before. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably a year and a half ago. But since the Orcus drudges up the Krakoa armor, Captain Krakoa armor, and they put a mystery person into this armor, and it's somebody we've seen before. But it's sort of like the mystery behind this whole thing. It was a mystery that was spoiled for me, but it kind of wanted to make me read about this. And he is revealed, I think, at the end of issue 4. But if you're putting it's easy to say in hindsight, but if you put things together, you probably could have figured out who this was in the Captain Krakoa armor. But so basically, Captain Krakoa is going out trying to give mutants a bad name, being a terrorist sort of individual. Meanwhile, Orcus has set him up to this. It's all sort of, they're championing him as the mutant, the leader of the mutants, but he's actually not even a mutant. This series is, I totally missed letting you know, written by Jerry Duggan, and the main artist is Javier Garron, and he's really good in my opinion. He does issues 1, 2, 4, and 5, which irks me. This sort of gets back to the Hulk thing, the fill-in artists that don't really match the style. Travel Foreman did not match the style of Nick Klein in that little Hulk run. The fill-in guy in issue 3 here is Emilio Laso, and he's not bad, but he's not, I'd say, on the level of Javier Garron, so it kind of throws you off a little bit, but it's not as bad as the Hulk. It's an interesting team. I like the characters. This was actually a variant because I didn't like the variant for number 3, and unfortunately, in Marvel's wisdom, this is a connecting cover, but they made the connecting covers both for issue 3 for some stupid reason. So I don't have the other half. I'm going to try to track that one down. This is by Nick Bradshaw.
Try to get you to buy 2 of 1 copy.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Right.
There's issue 4 and issue 5. I mean, it told a succinct story that wrapped up in 5 issues, I think, fairly well, tying it into the Fall of X, but not having to have really read the Fall of X in its entirety, which I hadn't. I understood this book perfectly well. So I think this is a good example of where a tie-in book that you don't need to read everything. This, made a nice little mini-series read that wrapped up just fine. I mean, it sows the seeds of, future tales for sure, and relies a little bit on the past, with the old Uncanny Avengers Unity Squad. But you don't have to really know about that. You're kind of thrown in and you pick it up, and it's not, rocket science.
Which is preferable when you don't need those other issues.
Exactly. That's why I said this is a good example of doing things probably the right way, even if it's not up your alley. This is a good example of a spin-off sort of connected book. So I'm going to give this, sort of an unexpected. Well, I shouldn't say unexpected because I pre-ordered it based on, the information I had at hand. I guess it shouldn't be that unexpected. You're hopeful that it's good, and in this case, it was. So I'm going to give this a pretty strong get it. You probably would get some more out of it if you were current on all of your X-Men reading. But like I said, it sort of stands on its own, and the artwork is good, and it was enjoyable. So yeah, get it from me.
Nice.
So who was in the Captain Krakoa armor?
He's trying not to spoil that because it isn't out yet.
Right,
It's out. It is out. This is the final issue, and it came out already.
Oh,
There you can see his back of his head. You might be able to guess. And to help your guess, I'll give you a little extra backstory on the first Uncanny Avengers. You know, Deadpool is a diehard Cap fan. I don't know if I want to say fan, but he nothing will deter him from following Captain America anywhere. It's one of the things I kind of like about Deadpool. You know, he may have wavering morals every once in a while, but there's no one else he would follow than Cap. And he was a victim to that in the first series, because that's when the whole Hydra Cap storyline came out.
uh-huh.
You know, his unflinching following of Cap was Deadpool's downfall in that book, and gave him sort of a bad name because he followed Cap so blindly, not knowing that he was a tool of Hydra at the time because of Red Skull's Cosmic Cube shenanigans. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty big hint as to who this Captain Krakoa might be.
Well, I'd guess it's Deadpool now if Deadpool weren't looking at him. What's your guess, Mike?
I don't know. Hawkeye. I don't know.
Pat?
I don't
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want me to spoil it or not. I mean,
Yeah, I don't want you to. Mike, do you really want to know?
No.
But he's a very athletic, blonde-haired looking person. Let's just say that.
Okay.
It definitely works out.
It's Iceman.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything because you're going to ruin my wrap up.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Is that all you got then?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. What did I read? I continued. Oh, Mom's here. Hey, Mom. Sorry. I mean, that's okay that you're late.
You got here just in time for your review, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect timing, Mom. Yeah. All right. I continued my journey in the Predators versus Wolverine universe. And I'm actually saying it that way on purpose because I have no idea if this is canon. And I'd assume not, right, Pat?
Yeah, I have no idea. A part of me wants to say I hope not, because when the license to Predator eventually goes away, then what do you do? It's like
Right.
Conan situation, you know?
Yeah. I'm actually mixed on it. I'd like to say I hope not too, but then what I'm getting ready to tell you about this issue, it's pretty cool if it was, you know. First of all, I want to say, well, I guess I should start off by saying this is Predator versus Wolverine #3 by Benjamin Piercy and Ken Lashley. But here's this is a revelation to me, and I always feel bad when I make revelations like this. If there's Predator fans out there that are like, "Oh, come on, Kevin, you don't like Predator at all," if you didn't know that. But here you go. Here's a trivia question for the two of you. Do you know Predator's race?
No.
Like running, like sprinting race?
No.
Running of the Predator Open.
What race of alien is he? Let me ask you this, since I figured you would say no to that, but just ask this then. Do you think you've ever heard reference to Predator's race ever before?
Probably
No.
not.
Yeah, me neither. So we're all on the same page. Thank God. Okay. But like I said, maybe a big Predator fan out there is like saying these guys suck. They don't know anything. So let me enlighten y'all. Okay.
Like we're the human race here, so
Right.
they're the alien race from whatever
Right.
predators they're from.
They are the Yatja. Yatja.
Yeah.
One word. One word.
Who
Two
gave
syllables.
them that name?
What?
Who gave them that name?
I don't know. The guy, Ken Lashley, or no, that he's the artist. Benjamin Pearson. Yeah. And just to spell that for you, because I know you want to know for future reference, that is Yautja. Yatja.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. You know, it was new info to me. I don't know whether this is the first time anyone's ever stated it. I read the first two and reviewed the first two, and never came across that then. So I thought it was unique that was mentioned here, which is pretty cool, right, Pat?
It is.
All right, so just a little recap of the first two issues of Predator versus Wolverine, and one of the reasons that I love this so much, kind of a spoiler on my review already, but this is 4 issues that basically every issue takes place in 2 time frames now, and the meat of the issue takes place in a different time. And issue 1 was way back when Canada. Wolverine was just chilling in the wilderness of Canada before he got involved with, Weapon X or being a mercenary or anything. He's just a normal Joe trapper out in the woods. And it's the first time he comes across Predator. And then the second issue is when he is a mercenary, and he's with a kind of an assassin team with Sabretooth and everything. And they come across multiple predators. And then in this issue, it takes place when Wolverine is going through the Weapon X program and first getting his adamantium fusion. And the way they connect these together, like I said, this is very cool because these different events that are happening in Wolverine's life, and I think it's kind of old and known that Wolverine has memory issues for differing reasons throughout his history. It's kind of always been his backstory where, is kind of trying to answer his own questions he has about himself in his own mind half the time, it seems. But Predator's been there all along, Pat. He has gone through the Wolverine experience with Wolverine. Wolverine just doesn't remember because in every single one of these situations, like I said, Predator chooses Wolverine as his prey in issue 1 at the beginning. And then the rest of the issues are Predator coming back because Wolverine either escapes every time or kicks his butt, or maybe a combination of both. And in this one in particular, though, it's more of just an escape because Wolverine is literally in the middle of his surgery, whatever you want to call it, for him being infused with adamantium. And Predator takes advantage of that. Like Wolverine's like under, all hooked up to the wires and everything. And he decides he's going to take Wolverine out then. But of course, Wolverine comes to just at the right moment and is able to escape. And this is all very graphic. Like you don't even see Wolverine's face for most of this issue. It's literally a skull. He kind of looks like Ghost Rider on Wolverine's body. That's most of this issue, which is kind of cool, actually. I like the way this issue was. I should follow the lead of Mike. I say this every week. I think I've been saying this every week for a year. I should have some panels from the interior on this one. But it's very cool. And I'll just put this one up real quick. Can you see that? Good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Anyway. So, like I said, issue 1 he's in the backwoods of Canada. And issue 2, he's like in Colombia or something as a mercenary. In this third issue, he's in the Weapon X program. Mike, what's your guess of where he is in the fourth issue? And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I'd say the back third, maybe not that much, maybe the back 10th, the last 2 or 3 pages of this issue, whatever that math is, kind of gives you a, and this is how every issue has worked. The last couple pages are a preview of what's coming up in the next issue,
Right.
Where and what is happening in the fourth issue, Mike?
I don't know.
Pat, you got a guess?
I have a clue.
I don't know, the X-Men era, Wolverine, or maybe even further out than that. I don't know.
No, the Japanese era,
Mm.
where he's learning. And actually, the cover of this kind of is a little bit of preview for that. He's learning his sword play from his Japanese masters, and Predator shows up again. So now he's still got some help. It's not only him, but it's also the guys that have trained him. So it's really cool how it's kind of following him through time like that. And I said this is 4 issues, but I'm not 100 on that. Do you know that for sure, Mike? Is this 4 issues or more?
I don't know. I assumed it was going to be 6, but
Oh, okay. I don't know what was making me think 4 then in general, but so anyway, I can't recommend this enough. This is a must-have if you're a Wolverine and or a Predator fan, in my opinion. This is really great. I think the story's great. I think the way it's laid out is great. I love the art. There's a couple pictures like literally inside. This you think this would have made me download an image with it, but I could have his posters hanging in my room. There's a couple panels in this. I love the art so much. So like I said, must have for Predator and Wolverine fans, and a definite get it for anybody else if you just want to, a fun action sci-fi comic crossover ride. So did you find out how many issues it is?
yeah, it looks like it's 4.
Okay, I thought I had heard that. Okay. I still don't like the 20th Century Fox box in the corner, though. Hey, Pat, I meant to ask you about those Incredible Hulk. So, have you warmed up to the corner box being in the right-hand side on that one yet?
Yeah, that's what's crazy. Ever since the whatever issue that was, the first 2 issues they were on the left-hand side, like how we like them.
Yeah.
Once they moved to the right side, they've stayed there. And I don't like it.
Yeah. It looks funky with every single one of those you're showing. So
I think the 20th Century Studios there, kind of, if you're cruising, maybe that just lets you know it's not canon. So
maybe that's true. Yeah.
In that world. The way it's funny, people get assigned these books. Like, okay, look, you're going to be doing the layouts for this Hulk book. This is the layout. Don't change anything. It's the way we've always done it. Don't change it. And they just can't do it. It's like, here's a button. Don't press it. And then they leave the room. They help themselves. Most people are going to press that button because they were told not to. Don't change it. Oh, let me just put the corner box on the right side.
Well, I actually was going to ask kind of a different thought than that, Mike. I was going to ask if you thought that is an artistic choice to try to be different, kind of like that spine-tingling Spider-Man cover. Just that it's unique and different, so that would make it stand out, maybe something like that,
It's just the culmination of how they do things these days. Because back in the old days, they had their template. They had the areas were blocked out already. Now the guys are just doing their artwork and then saying, "Good luck, you cover production people, because you got to put it all together." I mean, the artists should keep that in mind, even though they're not working with a blocked out template in the beginning. But I don't think anybody cares anymore.
They don't.
Here they are. And a lot of times easily they could either image the artwork or just shift the logo over to the other side, and they'd be fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
funny.
Although that was the John Romita tribute, but issue 1 and 2 are also on the right hands or the left hands. So
yeah, it's just the template. It's like, let's have a template. Consistency. There's something to be said for consistency.
There is, especially for thinking of collectors and how we're fingering through our collection and where we want to see and what we want to see. That's the number one reason I'm torn on the Virgin variants, because I got to put a label in the top left hand corner as to what book I'm looking at, because it has nothing on there at all. So anyway,
what's the name of the Predator's race again, Kevin?
Yatja.
First appears in Aliens versus Predator Prey, a novelized adaptation of the Aliens versus Predator comic series.
All right, there we go. Thanks, Pat.
And it's actually Yautja.
What?
Yautja.
What you got a phonetic alien race speaking app or something? How do you know that?
No, I just looked it up on Google, and that's how it says Yautja.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
Yautja.
Oh, so it's not Yacha, it's Yautja. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yautja. And their planet is Yautja Prime. I knew that. I knew that. I didn't.
Oh, you did. It doesn't really, though.
Oh, learn something new every day. And I actually own that Aliens versus Predators issue, so you can tell I never read it.
Well, the novel. Did you say that was a novel, Pat?
Yeah, novel based on the comics, yes.
Oh, okay.
So now the next question is, that was the first time Yautja was stated. Obviously, Yautja is in this issue. How many times was it said between then and now? Can you look that up real quick, Pat?
It's all through Predator's Wikipedia page, so it must have a really stronghold on the Predator series. So
okay, so that's like I said. Then Predator people watching are like, "What? These guys don't know anything."
I think you could be.
Oh, we do now.
We know now.
We know now.
We don't claim to know everything, but we're trying. We're trying.
And now we know one more thing that we did yesterday.
Now we know one more.
Good.
All right. So that's a good week. So we got 3 get-its, I think, 2 must-haves, and 1 on the fence. Is that accurate? That's pretty good, right?
Sounds about right. Yeah, very good.
All right, and then, of course, the big winner that everybody waits for. As far as I've heard, the voters have voted that the most popular segment on cover or comics and collectibles in the crawl space is Pat's Collectibles on the Horizon. What do you think, Mike? You believe that?
Believe it.
Yeah. All right, awesome. And I was just looking, I remembered while I was rolling that checking the Instagram, Mike, you were supposed to remind me in 1 hour and 10. You forgot.
No, I sure did. What is it? Hour 35.
It's actually still rolling now. So maybe
yeah.
I don't know where I read that, but maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully it lasts the entire time, but
well, it was probably all of our fans out there complaining to Instagram, and they changed the time limits for them.
That's true. That's true. Thank you, Instagram fans. Yep.
Because when I hopped over while you were when starting your Predator review, Kevin, and there were quite a few people watching the Instagram. So yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, I'm here to let people down now that you built me up on.
I was gonna say, you're like, during all that, you're like, shut up. I don't need the pressure. I don't need that pressure. Sorry.
So we're gonna talk about an anniversary. What Star Wars anniversary do you think it is this year? Any guesses?
Yeah. It is the crap. No, I don't know. Actually, I thought I did, but I don't. What is it?
It's the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace.
Oh wow!
We're gonna show some back of the figures.
Yep. 1999. Yep.
So yeah, there was a Star Wars or Hasbro Star Wars fan stream this week, and they kind of let everybody know that because of the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, there's going to be a large prequel presence within the toy lines for the foreseeable future.
Okay, I can get down with that. I love me some prequels.
Excuse me. So starting out, we would do some vintage. There wasn't an exorbitant amount of reveals. There was a lot of vintage. That's the 3 3/4 inch line. Start with a Phase 1 Clone Trooper. Can't really get that excited except if you're a huge Trooper fan, army builder. I think.
Right.
We've seen them countless times over and over again. They keep making improvements, but it's a Clone Trooper.
Right.
And if you haven't been following along, the MSRP retail for vintage figures these days is $17 for the 3 3/4 inch smaller figure.
Man, that's crazy. That is so crazy. I was thinking about that the other day. That's our low end now. It's crazy.
Right. Well, I can't remember if I've spotlighted it, but they're doing that sort of more. They've had it in Marvel for probably a year now. There's more younger audience, but yet still a comic accurate, movie accurate line of figures.
Oh yeah, you showed those. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, and I actually, they're doing the same thing for Star Wars, and I actually saw them this past week starting to hit the pegs.
Okay.
I think I saw Sabine and another Mandalorian, I think, on the shelves.
Oh, those are the ones that I was commenting are like the old school where they don't have as much articulation to be cheaper. That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Clone Trooper, we have Axe Woves from the Mandalorian appearance.
Nice.
We have, why can't we call him Din Djarin constantly? We have another iteration of the Mandalorian in this scale.
You know what? You know what the answer to that is, Pat, though, right?
I don't.
Well, this obviously I'm just speculating, but my speculation is if you call him Din Djarin, non-people that are big Mandalorian fan or people that aren't big Mandalorian fans would be confused, maybe. I don't know. Like if you're a Grogu fan, but you're not a Mandalorian fan, maybe that would be confusing to you. Maybe something along those lines. The Mandalorian is kind of how it was for, well, it still is on every packaging you've seen. So just changing it to Din Djarin might confuse people, I guess,
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I think it's the same reason that when you buy a Predator action figure, it's not Yahucha Predator.
That is fair, Mike. That's a good point, right, Pat?
It is. So that's why Hasbro calls this guy Baby Yoda still.
I knew you were going to do
All right.
Not the child, not Baby Yoda, or even Din Grogu. It's just Grogu here. If you can see him, if you can even spot him in that blister bubble, he's there.
He's the smallest thing. Yep. Man, that is so hilarious.
$17 off figure, folks. Big as your thumbnail.
Imagine if you want a Grogu, but you don't want who doesn't want that floating crib or whatever it is. But anyway, if you just want the Grogu figure and you're paying $17 for something,
You get bigger stuff out of the gumball machine for 50 cents.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to keep beating this in the ground like a dead horse, but anyway, I can't say enough how I've completely flipped immediately how stupid it is, because you're totally right, Pat, with what you pointed out. If it's the Mandalorian because of mine and Mike agreeing's logic, then yeah, this should be Baby Yoda. This shouldn't be. The fact that this is Grogu and it's not Din Djarin, it should be both or neither. I agree, Pat. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Consistency, so pressing that button.
The only thing they're consistent at is being inconsistent.
Yeah. Wrecking things.
Correct.
Well, check your common sense at the door, right?
Right. Well, one thing they are consistent on is releasing more Luke X-Wing pilot figures. So yeah, there you go. For this coming year, another version of that.
Yeah.
You don't already have a million of them.
I will say I don't think I have one without a helmet where the helmet's removable though.
Oh, there you go.
That seems new. Yeah, I could be wrong because I'm not a big, humongous action figure collector, but I don't think I've seen it before without his helmet removable, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, in recent years they've gone to the removable helmets, but that sort of bit them in the butt recently with some Mandalorians. People weren't too happy with how big the helmets were over the Mandalorian heads. And speaking of Mandalorians, we have the Fleet Commander. I think he was prominently featured, but never given a name. Maybe next time, Fleet Commander. You'll get a re-release in a year from now with a name and a new picture. And
well, I think he was only in that one episode, though, right?
I think they showed him quite a few times.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, he was maybe the most prominent below, Axe Woves as far as who they gave FaceTime to.
Okay.
And then we have Rex, another Rex. We'll see him again in another form coming up, I believe. That ends the $17 portion of our vintage line. Now we have a deluxe. Go ahead. What do you say?
I was just gonna say, this must be a Bad Batch season 2 reference, right?
Yeah, it's logo branded Bad Batch. So
yeah, okay. All right. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
If you want to spend a little more money, for some reason, Django is getting a deluxe figure, and he is going to cost you $25 for the 3/4 inch Django Fett.
Wow.
He does, he does have a few effects pieces that go with him, but I don't know where they're making him a deluxe figure. It's kind of puzzling.
I was just thinking last night, actually, in prepping, shameless plug. We're having a warehouse sale show on the Whatnot Monday, and I was going through my action figures for that, and I was like, man, I don't hardly have any Django action figures. So, man, this being $25, so I still might not have any more Django action figures. But literally, I have one, I think. Man, okay.
Well, if the $25 price point for the Django Fett wasn't puzzling enough, we have talked about this in the past. This was attached to the Ghost HasLab. If you recall, they were doing the mural card back figures of all the Rebels crew.
Right. Yeah.
But they left off Sabine and Chopper because they were to release them separately. You don't get them as part of the HasLab. The $500 Ghost.
Right.
You get everybody else except for. And they announced these won't be part of the Kickstarter. Anyone can buy these. Anyone that has $50 for the 2-pack.
Dadgum. Well, it's technically a 4-pack, right? No, probably not. Those other little creatures, I forget what their names are.
Yeah.
They probably aren't in there, are they?
They are in there.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
4-pack. It's a 4-pack. It's worth it.
But they come with Chopper. They come with Chopper to make it more value for his figure.
Oh,
you see the little bubble up there.
Oh yeah, okay, I see it.
They
Yeah.
come individually carded. Oops, sorry. Looks like I lost another pick because I did have the individual carded figures, but there you see them there. It's the same picture, but it's just blown up. But Sabine does come. Now this is a case where I don't believe because like I said, because of the Mandalorian factor that they ran into recently, Sabine helmeted versus unhelmeted is a head swap thing. You don't put the helmet over top of her head. I don't believe. She also comes with the blaster, and she comes with, you can't see it here, but she comes with her artistically decorated backpack, and Chopper comes with the 2 Loth cats. But you know, the $17 figure normally times 2 does not equal 50 by my math.
It's supposed to be cheaper.
Exactly. You get the cardboard box that goes around the other 2 figures, though. So,
man.
All right, that's all for 3 3/4 inch vintage scale.
Okay.
Moving on to 6-inch Black Series, but there wasn't much here. In fact, all we have is another Phase 1 clone trooper, this time 6 inches tall.
Oh man.
Showing you that we don't have much to show. Grand Admiral Thrawn with his new Ahsoka likeness hits the Black Series, but he was so preliminary, he's not shown in his boxed form yet. So
Interesting.
And then we had finally those are the baseline MSRP $25 Black Series these days. This is a deluxe. This is the Droideka from Phantom Menace, and he runs you $34.
That's pretty cool. You know what I need to know though, Pat?
Can you fold them up?
Yeah, can I transform into a rolling droid?
Well, they tried to answer that on the live stream, and with varying degrees of success, because the gentleman that was doing the transformation sort of rolled him up into a ball, but not quite.
Okay.
Let's just say they shouldn't have commented on the ability to do so if they could not provide a better example of the transformation process, because it looks sort of, halfway done.
That's interesting, though.
May have been the individual.
Right. What was that?
He was never good at Transformers.
Man, I could never, like, Transformers were like Rubik's Cubes to me. I could not figure those things out,
Yeah.
Without instructions, of course,
Yeah. Yeah. Some people, I think, there's certain people that they're so ingrained in it. They get the science behind it, and they can just do them almost automatically.
Yeah.
Sort of, I think, especially back in the day, they sort of followed similar patterns. Cars would transform a certain way. Trucks, planes would transform a different way. So the basics kind of, they were so used to it, they could do them automatically. But yeah, I was never that into them enough that I would always have to follow instructions with transforming stuff like that.
Yeah.
Finally, we're gonna hear from Todd over at McFarlane Toys this week. This is sort of 2 weeks since we were off. There not a lot, but it stretched out with throughout the 2 weeks. And this is based on the first one we have here. Let me see, is Batman versus Superman, Ben Affleck Batman. A lot of people were happy with this figure.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, not a huge fan of the movie, but I although I did think I had no problem with Ben Affleck as Batman, honestly. I know he has his fans and detractors out there. I think this looks fine.
Well, personally, with Ben Affleck, I didn't have a problem. I'm a big Ben Affleck fan. I thought the choice of choosing Ben Affleck for the role didn't match, because it was the dawn of Justice, and he was like an older Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't think the choice was fitting of the character. And I mean, no offense to Ben. Sorry, Ben, if you're watching this, but this action figure looks a little bit more slim than Ben did. I'm not one to talk, but Ben was kind of a thicker Batman, in Justice League,
Yeah. I sorry about the I was trying to make Tyler always tries to bring up the Thrawn. That's why I popped him up there. He has
gotcha. Yeah.
That's
what I was gonna say about that Thrawn. This Thrawn definitely looks thinner than the Thrawn in the show as well.
More flattering in action figure form.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Ben's
Ben, don't I have no beef. There's no beef here. Not like Mike's beef was. Who did Mike have beef with last episode? Oh, Sly.
Yeah, Stallone and his height.
Right, yeah. This is not a Sly and Mike situation, Ben. I don't want any. I know you're a stud. You're good. Okay.
Unfortunately, Kevin, when you say that, my mind is automatically going to the Ben Affleck meme of him standing outside Dunkin' Donuts smoking a cigarette after hearing what he had said you have said about him here on the show today.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
The basic McFarlane figures are that $23 range. This is a deluxe figure. He's been out before, at least once, if not twice. He was previously at least red and black. This is a gold and black version of Injustice 2 Nightmare. Which I like this figure. I don't have them. I like the black and red one from before. I like this one too. And you know me, I'm not a big fan of the weird metal verse or whatever Batman, but I this guy I like the design on this guy.
He's cool, definitely. Mike, that's one you'd buy, right?
Yeah, I'd buy it.
All right. Okay.
Next up, the final two McFarlane choices we have for this week. I think they're based on a more obscure. In fact, I'm not sure I've heard of this movie before. I think it's who this guy is. It's from the Dark Knight trilogy. Are you familiar?
The Dark Knight. Yeah. I think I've seen that movie. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Mike, have you seen those movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat doesn't know anything about these.
This a lot of people really like this figure. It seems to be. Unfortunately, another one of my pictures dropped out because there was a more close-up view of the Christian Bale, Bruce Wayne, Batman head, and I think it's pretty well done. Kevin,
I'm confused. What is that? Where's his head? Where's his cowl?
Doesn't appear to be one. There does not appear to be a Batman head with this figure.
What the heck?
Get on the Todd hotline and ask him, Kevin. I don't know.
So it's not a full Batman figure, and it's not a full Bruce Wayne figure.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of a point in the movie. I know you wouldn't know, Pat, but anyway, I'm trying to think of a point in the movie where he was just in his Batman costume without the cowl on, which I do think I'm recalling a couple moments like that happening. But if I'm also remembering correctly, that gun that's in there, that's the one that shoots the C4 splotches. Yeah, it's got a little C4 splotch accessory there too. Definitely when he was shooting the C4 splotches, he definitely was wearing his cowl. So this figure is a fail.
Yeah, do you see that little piece to the right of his head there?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, it's weird because that's like up around his head in some of the pictures I saw. So I don't know if it's supposed to be like his cowl being pulled back or what it is. Thanks to the stalling tactics, I'm trying to. Here's the other picture I had. I don't even know now. But I think in another picture I saw of this, that weird piece was like around his head. Is it like a backpack or something? Maybe. I don't know. Sorry about that, folks.
I don't know either.
But I think the Christian Bale head is pretty well done.
Yeah, it looks like Christian Bale. It's pretty good. Yeah. I don't know, man. You know, I think I'm gonna have to buy this just to unbox it on the show to answer everyone's questions.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, there are pics out there that has something more definitive about that weird piece around his head or neck. Yeah.
But do you remember that scene, Mike, where he's like, and he's shooting the C4 and it's no?
I don't remember it. No.
You guys need to rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy. It is awesome.
Viewing party.
Yeah, there's another viewing party. Right? All right. Sorry, Pat.
That's all right. Finish it up with also in the Dark Knight trilogy. This is a Catwoman Batpod combo pack. The weirdest thing about this is the price point, because if you recall they had the Batman, the 89 Batman with the Batmobile, and everybody was over the moon about it, pretty much. They released it twice because it was in such high demand, and it was a great price. It was like the Batmobile itself, I think, was $50. And then if you got the Batman, Michael Keaton Batman with the Batmobile, I think it was like $70, but still it seemed like a pretty good deal. This, you go to this Batpod, which, by the way, I never liked. This combo is going to cost you $70.
Holy macaroni. You know what it is, Pat? It's what's her name's fees. What's her name? Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
She bumped up the price somehow because of demanding for her character likeness.
For likeness fees, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Huh. It looks kind of cool though. I'm not a fan of that bike either. That's a piece of the Batmobile is what it is, It's one side of the Batmobile that came out as a bike,
Yeah, honestly, that's sort of the side of the Dark Knight trilogy that I didn't like. Is I realized what they were going for. They were going for a more realistic,
right,
Batmobile, Batpod, whatever you want to call it. All the vehicles, were sort of trying to make it more, yeah. And you say more awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of where I veer off on that. One of the reasons why I didn't love it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it for Todd. And one last thing, I think this was I'm going to give credit to the Kaiju Kingdom, because I cannot find pics online from Target. These are Target exclusives. These are the blind boxes again. If you recall, they did the reaction Godzilla's that I went out and bought a scale for, which I had major success with. I ended up with 2 of the ones I wanted.
Nice.
This is the Shogun Godzilla. If you remember, this is also 3 3/4 inch sort of scale.
Yeah.
Came out a few years ago. And they've re-released it a couple of different times. There he is on the back of the box close up. I even finished my sentence. KaijuKingdom.com was where I picked these photos up off of.
Okay.
So thanks to them.
Mm-hmm.
There you see him on the backs. The Shogun Warrior that we all loved as a kid, shrunk down to 3 3/4 inch size. And here are the choices you get from your blind box. You get the exact, basically same figure, the Shogun Classic, which is what I have. You have a shadow version, which is black. You have a X-ray glitter green color. You have an amber glitter green, and you have a mystery.
Interesting. Well, this is obviously your jam. What do you think of those different colors?
I mean, not thrilled. I don't know if I'll be collecting them all, as they ask you to on the box there. I know the scale trick is not going to do you that good for these guys, because they're all the same figure. But I know from the previous series, the glitter plastic tends to weigh less, I think, than the regular plastic. So you could suss out the 2 glitter Godzilla's there, but the other three are
Okay.
probably going to be they're going to be the exact same weight for the other three. And if you want a spoiler alert, I watched the guy's video, so I know what the mystery is. I don't know. Yeah, we don't want to. I know you didn't want to spoil Captain Krakoa, but I can tell you the spoiler for the mystery Godzilla here. If you
What
really
say you,
want.
Mike? We want that spoiler.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a glitter classic shadow.
Glitter classic shadow. Okay, there's Mike.
Right.
No, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess it's pink.
Pink.
Yeah,
an
go
interesting
try to get
choice.
the girls. You know.
Well, yeah, it's near Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of
so-
that. And pink. Yep, pink.
You actually in the corner of that picture there, they have the Funko Valentine's, I think, already out. So
Oh
who
yeah.
knows?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, who does know? I know because you guys are both wrong. It is. I don't have a picture of it. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But it is a black and white Godzilla.
How's it break out like that? Like half and half or what?
No, just as
Oh,
though.
like a black and white characterization of the entire character. Oh, got it. I got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like
That's
you
pretty
were.
cool.
Yeah, like you were
Yeah.
seeing the Shogun figure in with original Godzilla movie colors, black and white.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Actually, I like that. I like that
It's
better
not
than
bad.
any of the rest of these except the classic.
Yeah, it's honestly not bad, but if you really want him, he's one per case. So good luck with that. I have not seen these in my Target yet, but it seems like they're hitting quite a few. And these are, I believe these they're holding the same price point as the previous Super 7 Reaction Godzilla figures blind boxes, which were $14.99. So that's to me, $14.99 is a tough pill to swallow with a blind box. We talked about that before, but
yeah, definitely. Yep.
they sold well at my Target. Everybody bought the Reaction blind boxes. They were all gone. So, and I think they actually. Oh well, I know they had 2 boxes because I ended up with both Chase figures out of both boxes. So,
Well, good on them. Good on them.
but that's it for the Horizon this week. A little short, but sweet, I guess.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think you did just fine fitting the bill of the hype.
Wow.
Right, Mike?
Yeah.
Excellent work.
I was thinking of something other than what you were saying.
You guys do that all the time. I'm just like, I am totally engrossed in the show during the entire show.
Yeah.
But you
I
guys,
was working,
you guys are doing important things during the show that definitely make the show better. So I'm not saying my way is better than yours, but I think one of us need to be paying attention 100% of the time.
I was working on the wording for my wrap up.
Right, you're working, and my wrap up's going to be a wreck because I'm going to be doing it all impromptu, no pre-thought whatsoever. So
one more quick collectibles on the Horizon note. Today, January. What is today? The
27th. Yeah.
Is the Butler Area Toy Show. Once again, it is being held. They moved. Starting with last show, they are in the old Clearview Mall, giving it a purpose that it doesn't have much purpose these days. They're giving it a purpose. It is being held today, I think, from 10 till 5 or 11 till 5. And I'm probably going to try to stop out there and check them out because I've missed a few. So I want to get out there and $5 admission at the door, see what they have to sell at the Butler Area Toy Show today.
Is that the second annual? Did you say?
No, they've been holding it twice a year.
Oh, okay.
Once in the winter, once in the summerish time.
Okay.
So I think this is either the 3rd or 4th show, actually.
Well, that's pretty cool. Good. All right, great job, Pat. I think all of us have done excellent work today. Not to be vain or at all, but I'm just going to go with that. Okay. Are we ready to wrap it up?
I am now.
You guys are ready. I know. All right, you're first, Mike. So it's a good thing you're ready.
Yeah. Let's see. Pick 3 is expanding its selection pool, which will now include ratio variants and store exclusives.
Nice.
I'm hoping for a substitute next week because I'm tired of the homework our regular teacher gives us.
I was actually gonna do a homework reference too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there were so many high points this week. I feel like we're all going to duplicate each other's wrap up here.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Make sure you do your homework and what Kevin watched, and hopefully you took notes as to what the homework was because there's a lot of it. Mike.
I'll just take the F. Let's take the failing grade.
Okay. Wait, was that your second recap? Okay.
Yeah. I only have one more, so yeah.
Well, you better do it. You get that one you worked so hard on out because it might get slept on.
Okay. Now I have to buy Uncanny Avengers because Patrick wouldn't tell me who Captain Krakoa is.
Yep, you do.
We found we all know now you don't need to work out, skip leg day, just get an action figure of yourself.
Right. If you didn't know what Yahuja was, now you do, thanks to your boys. Right? Mike?
Right.
That's all I got.
Okay. Pat?
Yeah, I don't have anything else either.
All right, I was just gonna add that if you don't have enough phase 1 clone troopers yet, just be patient. They keep coming out with them. And who knows whether they will have a different head or a helmet to go on. You never know. And then also, the only thing that not only Marvel, but the Black Series have in common is that they're consistently inconsistent. See why in this episode they don't call the Mandalorian Din Djarin, but they call Baby Yoda or the kid Grogu on their packaging.
Yep.
That might be the record now for the longest recap statement ever. Oh, right. Oh, man. I love when I'm hilarious and you guys appreciate it.
That's a long cricket. Holy cow.
That was a long cricket. I just
That was as long as your recap.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if I can close this out quicker, though. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified of everything we post. We would also love to see all your thoughts, questions, and suggestions in the comments below. Subscribe to Comics and Collectibles in the Crawl Space on Spotify for podcasters or many other podcast providers, and listen to the edited podcast of this live stream on podcast or on Spotify that will be posted no later than Tuesday. I said it once. I'll say it a million more times that it's a different show. Check it out. I listen to it multiple times a week amongst all the other podcasts I listen to. Then follow Exceller Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and or X, aka Twitter, and follow Exceller_Comics on TikTok and whatnot. And I'm actually just going to confirm. It looks like our show lasted the entire stream on Instagram. So we really appreciate everyone checking us out there. That's awesome. And then watch our shows on the Whatnot app. And you can bookmark. Actually, I think I've got 3 shows scheduled this week. Everybody's like, well, how are you going to do that with as much as you keep pushing your shows forward? That's the point. I'm not going to push any shows forward this week. I got a show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. You can bookmark those shows right now to get notified when all of the ridiculous deals will be offered. And there are a ton of ridiculous deals. First Pokemon show last week went great. Got some great deals on there. Comic book shows, legendary for how great the deals are there. And then on Monday, it's like a warehouse sale. I think I called it an inventory purge. We're going to offer a little bit of everything, and the chat is in charge as to what I'll be offering. So we're going to have everything from action figures to pops to Pokemon cards to comic books to Star Wars memorabilia. Everything is going to be on that show. Make sure you stop by.
Just don't sell anything mine.
Yeah, I'm not selling anything of Mike's that without his permission.
Right.
And then check out what we have to offer on eBay at Exceller_comics and in our shop at excellercomics.com. And you can find the shop tab at the top of our homepage. And then you can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/excellercomics. And then watch our semifinals of Cover Combat 7 viewer submissions this coming Monday, January 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's exciting getting down to the wire on Cover Combat. And then watch our next live stream on YouTube or Facebook in 2 Saturdays from now, February 10th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry about it. It is my daughter's first drumline tournament next week. So unfortunately, we can't have a show there. It's shocking that that's an all-day event the way it is.
Yeah.
It's for the minimal amount of time I'm going to be able to see her, and it's going to last all day. You know, all those things. So anyway, so that's a lot of stuff. So lastly, you can keep up with everything that Exceller has planned with the newly added Karen's Calendar feature that's also located at the top of our homepage at excellercomics.com. That's it. Which was longer, my recap, my final recap statement, or that closing?
Closing.
Thanks for the gig, Matt.
It's like a quarter of the show.
Every time. You got anything else you want to say, Mike, besides for slamming me some more? You're done there.
No. Oh, I'll give you the same advice that I give all the time. Don't skip leg day. That's all I got.
Pat.
I'm done.
Okay, awesome. And we missed Karen today, so I just wanted one last thing to say. Sorry we missed you, Karen. Hope Constance is okay. Constance, we're thinking about you. And until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome, and reading a great story is fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Exceller out.